Hey there, I got another video here on my 2009 Audi A4 B8 and got another annoying EPC light, and this time I used VCDS to check it out, and here's what it looks like. Alright, I got the car running, and you can see the EPC light there, and it's always annoying when that comes up because it could be something major or minor, just depends, I guess. So I use VCDS to look up what the code is, and let me tell you first what the symptoms are. Like I got this EPC light while I was driving but didn't feel anything at all, but when I stopped and turned the car off, and for some reason I turned it back on, I did not need to press the brake pedal. So let's see if it'll do it. So I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna take out the key. So here's me putting it in, and my foot is off of the brake and it's in park. And you can see I didn't touch the brake and it started. So I think that's part of the reason that it's pointing to the brake switch, because it doesn't know whether it's pressed in or not, and it thinks it is, I guess. So when I went to VCDS, looked up the code, and sure enough, there is a code, and it says brake switch implausible signal P057100, and the mill is on. So yes, the EPC light is on, and so the fix for this will hopefully be just replacing the brake switch, which is between $20 and $30 depending on where you get it. And okay, here's another indication that the brake light switch is faulty. My brake lights are on constantly. I thought I checked that, but I guess not. So definitely gonna replace that. Now I've let it sit overnight, and what I've found is that it kind of fixes itself, and I do have to press the brake. So let's see if that happened. Yep, as you can see, I have to press the brake now. And the EPC light is gone for the brake light switch, so but it definitely comes back. So and we know it has that error, so we're gonna replace it. We're gonna have to take off this bottom cover here, and then there's I guess a plastic cover down there, and then replace the switch. So we're gonna do that now. All right, the first thing we need to do is get this cover off, and you can see there's a little indentation there. I'll put a screwdriver in there, pull this off. There's one bolt back here, and then there's one over here, and then there is one on this side. And we're gonna take those three out and then pull this cover off. And then we might have to do something with the plastic cover here before we can get to the brake switch. So we'll see. Alright, we're gonna try to get this cover off. And probably should move the seat back to give you more room when you get under there. Okay, so we need to take this cover off, and hopefully it won't be that bad. So we got a screwdriver here, and gives you a little bit of leverage, and then pull that out, and this is my fuse puller that just fell off, so put that back in. Okay, so this is the one screw here, or bolt, and then there's one here, and they are 8 millimeters, so take them out. Hopefully this isn't going to be too difficult to take out. Let's see. That's 2, and here's 3. Alright, they're all out now. Let's see how much trouble we have pulling this down. I'm sure there's clips in here. Okay, kind of pulled from the bottom. Okay, that's a big thing. And here's the OBD port. And another thing that we need to disconnect to pull this totally off. Boy. Looks like spread these out. All right, not sure how that comes out. But let's try this little one here. There's a little tab to push down, and of course it's difficult. Right here, push that down, pull it off. That part stays on, so now let's this thing out, which I'm not sure. It's on this side. I'm not sure how it's held in. Oh, this is the courtesy lamp, duh. Alright, to get this out, there's 2 of these things and then 3 little clips here, so you basically have to spread these 2 things out, push these 3 pins in, and then it comes out. So this pin holds it in, these 2 pins hold it in, and then these 2 are held in by these 2. So there's 5 points you need to kind of simultaneously release, but if you press on these 3 pins and spread these out without breaking them, they're very gentle, or very breakable. As you can see, I've Almost broke mine, but that's how it comes out. And then when you put it in, you just push it in past here. Okay, so we got that out. So now we should be able to take this whole cover out. Just set it right there. That's a huge cover. And then what we have under here is you still can't get to it. You've got this vent here that needs to come off, and then we need to get under there, right behind there. So we'll take this vent off. It looks like there's a screw here. Figure out how to get it down. Okay, we need to take out this one Torx bolt right here that holds the vent on. Okay, and then there is an electrical connector here that I'll just take this off so that it doesn't snap off. And again, you have to figure out how to get it off. I have it. Maybe not. Looks like you push in these two sides past the ears to get this out. Then, can we get this out? Okay. All right, success on that. And now we can see the thing. It's right here. So this is what we are replacing, and it has one electrical connector. And then from what I read, you need to turn this whole back thing, let's see, counterclockwise to get it off. And then somehow there's a tool that you need to get this whole thing out on at least this Audi B8, so we'll have to see, but there's the plunger, and let's get the connector disconnected and then follow the instructions on how to get this out. Alright, before we do all that, this is the part that I got to replace it, and let's just see what this looks like before we take the old one out. All right, you're supposed to have this tool to get the thing out. All right, I got this camera set up over here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing, or at least I explain it well enough where you know what I'm doing. So as you saw, that you need a special tool to get this out, and hopefully I can do it without it. and I did practice here. So the first thing you need to do is you don't turn this whole thing on a Audi B8 brake switch, you know, counterclockwise to get it out. That would be too simple. No, they've got this whole thing installed in here with clips, so this whole body is clipped into there, and the way to release it is to turn the ring counterclockwise until it stops. So that supposedly loosens this whole thing, as you can see, I hope. And now for the fun part. Hopefully I'm staying out of the way. This has 3 fingers here, because even though it's released, you can't pull this thing out. You can't turn it and you can't pull it because there's fingers locking it in. So you need to release the fingers, and that's what that tool is for. And it's hard. I don't think I can take a picture of it back there, but there are 3 of them, and you can feel them just barely here. So if you feel around in here and you push where that is, it kind of releases it a little bit, and then where the other one is, it releases it more, and then there is a 3rd one at the top, which of course is harder to get to. And I just messed that up, so let me try and get the top one first, maybe. I think I got it. And then the one on the side. And then the last one right here. At least I think it's here. It's over here. And there you go, there's 3 of them. And it comes out. And that was without the tool. And these are the fingers. They come out, I guess. And so now we can replace with the new one. It only goes in one way. And we have to follow the directions on how to get that put back in. All right, let's finish this job. So here's the brake light switch holder, and you can see there's a tab over there, and so that goes with the tab on the brake switch, and you can only put it one way. So what's going to happen is we put it in that one way, we push it in until the fingers lock on the housing, and then we turn the purple part to clockwise all the way and reattach the wire, and theoretically it should be done, because this plunger is right now out all the way, and once you push it in, the brake pedal needs to stay where it is. Once you push it in, it's going to push this in, and probably you'll hear some clicks, and it's supposed to self-adjust, and when you lock it in, it'll stay where it is, and that should be it. So let's get it done. I'm gonna move the camera over here, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Let me get situated in here. Let's make sure you can see where it is. Okay, it's over there. Okay. I have to twist myself in here. Okay, there's the tab. Goes in, just press it in all the way. Right now the plunger's touching the brake, but it's supposed to self-adjust, so I'm going to push it in. And then don't do anything else. This is locked in now. Turn this clockwise till it stops. Supposedly it's installed. And then we need the wire to the brake pedal, which, where did I put that? Right here. And should just have to push that back in. Okie dokie, well, that's it, I think. Now let's see what happens when we push the brake pedal. I'm not sure what's supposed to happen, but it's in there. So hopefully it's done. And this is what we got going on here. Everything reconnected. And that's how you do it on an Audi B8. And now we're just gonna put everything back on. Or actually, I guess I should start it. Make sure that you have to push the brake pedal to start it, because that was one of the symptoms. And then put everything back in that we took off. Okay. It should not start by pressing the key. Okay, did not. Now I'm going to press the key, or press the brake. Okay, well, I guess that shows it doesn't not work, but I guess we'll just see if that error comes back, and hopefully it doesn't. Okay, we're gonna put the vent back in. This way. And then we put the Torx nut back in. And then re-plug in the connector. Okay, that's back in. And then we've got this giant cover. And remember, all we have to do is plug this, push this back in until all the tabs lock, and then this is for the convenience light. Put that back in. Easier said than done. Okay. And now we get this put back in. Don't know if there's any special things on the bottom except for the bolts that hold it in. some clips. Looks like okay, push those clips in. Put in the 3 bolts that you took out. Hold this whole thing together. I guess it pushes in further than I thought. So you can get this one in there. Let's make sure that is going in. Okay, that did tighten up. Okay, I'll screw in more than I thought. And then the last one up here. Way longer than I thought there. Okay, and then the last part is putting this back in the cover. Get that cover put back in. Should just snap on. And that should be it to replace your pedal switch on an Audi A4 B8. It's different from the previous ones, that's for sure, because of those weird fingers, but you can do it if you know some of those tricks I showed you. And hopefully this one won't go out anytime soon. Thanks for watching. And the one final check is the brake lights are not on constantly, so I'd say the switch is working at this moment, but we'll see after a few miles.